How can something so simply made be so good? You know, one of the biggest accomplishments of this movie is giving me a giant appetite for something a little better than the crap I have lying around my dorm, like popcorn, chips, that kind of stuff. So, I think I'm going to put this away for a minute and review Chef. Chef is a small independent movie written, directed, and starring Jon Favreau, who's known for Swingers, Elf, and Iron Man, to name a few. He plays a work-obsessed chef, Carl Casper, who sees cooking as an art form, as a passion of his. However, because he's so passionate about cooking, he is distant from his son, and he gets fired from the restaurant he's originally working at while trying to show off a critic and say that, oh, I'm better than you. Fuck you, man. So he decides to pursue a career in the food truck business in order to create the kind of food that he wants to make without anyone telling him what to do. Now, this is one of those smaller independent movies that I've had my eye on, or that I've heard of. I heard good word of mouth coming out of South by Southwest where it showed, and I was even in Austin, Texas visiting some family members while they were shooting there, so that was kind of cool. And I'm just going to cut right to the chase. It's a really good movie. I would even say it's a great movie. It's very honest, and what I mean by that is Jon Favreau really seemed to put his heart into making this the best movie he could possibly make. Like, it was a passion project of his. He puts as much effort into this movie as Carl does with his cooking. And it's got a really good cast also. You got people like Sofia Vergara, John Leguizamo, Scarlett Johansson, Dustin Hoffman, and Robert Downey Jr. in one scene. But all the actors do a really good job. They all have good chemistry with each other. It's a very believable movie, and the relationship Jon Favreau has between his son feels very real, and it's very nice to see them basically bond throughout the movie. It's also a really funny movie. I mean, it is a comedy at its core, but it also has some drama. And every time it tries to go in a cliched route that you'd see in typical comedies, or like the misunderstanding between characters, or characters getting into a fight and no longer talking to each other or at least for a while, they never do that. I mean, they might have that conflict very briefly, but then they'll put it aside because it's not important and just go on with the main focus of the story, which is good. I really like that. Another thing I like is that this movie was the first movie I've ever seen that really used social networking as a theme in a very smart way. Because I've seen some movies where they'll use Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, your YouTube even, and it's just in a very stupid, corny way. Like, look, we're hip. And it's like, really, come on. But Chef does it in a very clever way. And it's actually encouraged me to use Twitter a little more often than I do right now. So thank you for that, Jon Favreau. There really isn't much I can complain about, if anything. I guess if I had to point out something that bothered me, it's that Carl's in the year 2014 and he doesn't even know what Twitter is. Doesn't know how to use... Okay, well, I can let it slide that he doesn't know how to use it because when I started getting on Twitter, I had no idea how it worked. Hell, I'm still in the learning process, but really, 2014 and you haven't heard of Twitter yet, that probably could be a nitpick because in the end, Chef is a really, really well-made movie with a great cast, terrific script, really good production design, and it gave me a large appetite for something a little better than popcorn. So, this movie is worth seeing in your lifetime, but just remember to eat well afterwards. I mean, this movie will make you want to eat good food regardless. And that's my review for the movie Chef. Leave a comment and tell me what you thought of the movie. Subscribe to my channel for more stuff in the future. Check out my other channel, AlexG8462. You can find links to my Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram accounts on my YouTube page. Go check me out on letterboxd.com, letterboxd.com, under the name The Real Mr. Robinson. Share me with your friends and tell them about me. And remember to know it before you see it. This has been Cinemas with Mr. Robinson, and I'll see you guys later.